Hey friends, Miss Lynn from the Action Arts and Science program at the Washington Pavilion, and we are continuing with our Flower Power unit today with an art project inspired by artist Georgia O'Keeffe. Georgia is famous for the very large and colorful flowers that she has painted throughout her career, and so we're going to do something very similar to that. But before we start, if you haven't read the book Through Georgia's Eyes, I want you to pause this video, read the book, and then come back. As you heard in the book, she loved to draw and paint about nature, and very much did the flowers and other things that she saw as she was out walking around. And so this is an example of one of the flowers that she would paint. And we're going to show you here a couple other examples of some of her artwork. And so we're going to use this as an inspiration for our art project today. We're going to draw a very large flower on our paper, and then we're going to paint it, but we're going to paint it very specifically. In some of our other activities, we've used the color wheel, and we've talked about primary colors, blue, red, and yellow, and secondary colors, which are orange, purple, and green. Today, we are going to do tertiary colors, which is a little bit of a strange word and not a word that we talk about a whole lot when we're doing our art projects, but tertiary colors are colors that are next to each other on the color wheel. So it's basically a primary color and a secondary color together. In this example that I've done already, I used blue and green. So those are the tertiary colors that I used, and they are next to each other on the color wheel. The example that I'm going to do now, I'm going to use two different colors, and I'm going to use green and yellow. So again, a primary and a secondary, using those in our project because they are tertiary or right next to each other on the color wheel. So I'm going to draw a very large flower. And again, it doesn't have to look realistic. We are not trying to do a realistic painting. So this is your impression of the flower. There's some example flowers that you can look at in the supply bin. So if you need some ideas, but I'm just going to draw a flower, and I'm going to draw it very large because that's what Georgia did. Her paintings were of very large, almost close-up images. It's a little harder to draw a flower when you're under pressure and a camera is watching you, so that's probably not the most symmetrical flower I could do, but that's okay. And maybe I'll add, no, I'll leave it. Okay, so now I've got my green and my yellow, which are my tertiary colors. And I'm also going to send white paint because I like to be able to do lighter shades of those two colors. It just gives us more to work with. So before I paint anything, I'm going to mix some of them together. I'm going to do some white over here and some white over there so that I can then mix some green into this one to make a light green, and some yellow into this one to make a light yellow. Just gives us a little more to work with, especially if your flower is detailed. Mine's pretty simple, just so that I don't have to spend a whole lot of time painting for this video, but you might add a lot more detail to yours. So what I'm going to start with is I'm just going to outline, I'm actually going to use this one, I'm going to outline the flower in one of the colors. And I've drawn this in pencil so it won't show as much when I'm painting. And then when we're all done and it's dry, you'll be able to outline with marker if you want. Or you may choose to not. It's up to you. So I'm just going to paint. You can choose to paint the whole petal one color. I'm going to do it like that. And I would continue with all 4 petals, but for the time that this video is, I don't want to spend all of that. I'm going to then paint this. We're using tempera paint, so it'll be less likely to run together than if we were using watercolor, but it still might blend together a little bit, and that's okay. There'll be a couple of different sizes of brushes that you can use. So if you need a big brush for the petals or other areas, I'm gonna make this a little more lighter. Nope, even more light. There we go. Now, as I'm painting this, I'm noticing that the color isn't as different. You can't tell the difference between the two colors as I would like, so then I'm going to end up going back over those outlines with the green again. And that's the nice thing about working with tempera paint, is it doesn't dry as fast, so you can go back over it if you need to. Just to give it a little more difference. But again, you can paint it however you want. And maybe in the middle, I'm going to do mostly white. I might even try kind of a swirl. We'll see. So this is a time where you can experiment with some different techniques. In my other example, I used some dots in the middle, but maybe I'm going to try some different things. I would continue going on, but for the interest of this video, I will not finish this one. But once it was dry, then I could outline it if I wanted. So I'd use some markers here to outline the different areas. Again, that's optional. You can choose to just have it be just the paint. And but there you go, some Georgia-inspired flowers.